It's your boy OGOD once again. I'm right back at you. With another one. I seen a video that pretty much inspired me from my brother Sam Matt. And embracing failure. I'm gonna talk about that real quick. Because we're kind of taught, as to shy away, to be scared of failure. You know what I'm saying? But it's in the failure that the lesson is learned. For an example, I always like to go to football. What's up, D? I like to always use football as an analogy. Sometimes with teams, they'll lose games, real close games and whatnot. And the next time they'll come out and they'll beat that team because there's a few things when they go back and look over the tape that they actually, overlooked, the things that they actually missed. So when you're failing, you got to take it as an opportunity. It's going to be frustrating. You know what I mean? Definitely frequently, fell forward. You're going to make mistakes along the way, but you clean them up and you make sure, or you do your best to make sure that you can minimize those mistakes and they don't happen again. So a lot of times a lot of people can't take failing. A lot of people can't take losing. And sometimes, people get in a position where, they let it get the best of them and they walk away or they leave, certain things rather than saying, you know what? People like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, I'll tell you an interesting story about Kobe Bryant. He talked about and this is dope. Guy was interviewing on it. He's like, why do you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and practice? He said everybody else gets up at 10 and they practice. And Kobe simply just broke it down and said that all right, I know my opponents what time they're practicing. They're gonna practice at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. You know what I mean? 10 o'clock, take a rest, shower, boom, come back out at 2 o'clock, boom. He said, me, I get up at 4, I go from 4 to 6, I'll take a rest. I go again, I take a rest. I go again in another hour, maybe from 4 to 6, and then at night, I take another rest. And then I go after dinner, he says he goes maybe from 8 to 10 at night. So he says while his opponent, sorry about the shaking of the camera, while his opponent is getting, only 2 practices in a day, he's getting 4 practices in a day. Now, this might not seem like a lot at first, but as time goes on, as days go on, as it begins to accumulate, and you get further and further ahead, of your competition, and that just is what it is, man. We're in a competitive society, a competitive, arena, and we have to be able to compete. So, entrepreneurship, you're gonna fail. You're probably gonna fail 1,000 times. And the thing about YouTube is, excuse me, I always like to say it's the perfect microcosm of failure and success, because when you first start putting up videos, you may not get, it may not go viral, you may not get a lot of views, but you keep on banging at the bit. It's just like the hammer and the nail. It don't go in on the first hit all the time, but if you keep hitting on the right spot and you stay persistent and you keep banging it, it'll go in. If you put enough of them in, it'll solidify and hold down a strong foundation. So each nail, each seed planted, you water it, whatever you got to do, you cultivate. It's funny, I grew up, my grandfather is from the South, and he pretty much, when he came up north and got a property, they got 3 properties of the family, and it was all probably about 4 or 5 acres of land all together. But in the center of this, and I can show you on camera one day, they built a garden. You know what I'm saying? And the lesson that I pretty much, got from this is not only did they build a garden, he actually came down and built his house with his bare hands. The man said, man, was actually joking today, because that's actually the house that we go over now. His daughter now owns that house, and that's what we shoot the podcast from. It's a whole bunch of leaves, in the yard, and these are the leaves that we used to help him with the tractor and the tarp and different things. Go out there, and go live and pretty much have to labor and sweep all these leaves up. the point about it, was that I seen now that, yeah, he could have probably paid somebody, to do it, but he saw it more beneficial for him to do it on his own and become more, self-sufficient and, just keep working. So he used to always tell us stories about certain things that he went through, in the South, and how he, went through racism and all the stuff that we can even imagine, even worse, coming from the South. I mean, this man was born in like 1919. So he was like 90s, like 92 or 93 something, I think, when he died. So he's been around a long time. So he could tell us some stories. But one thing that we got from him, me and Sam, man, he had a stroke and everything. He continued to stay busy. He continued to work. Even like the last time that I ever, seen him, and I went to go shake his hand, I could feel the strength. Even though his body was out of it, he still had the strength, with his hands. So with that, I mean, this is pretty much, the type of men, that's in our life. So that's why it's important for the mentorship group. We got the Hip Hop Uncensored mentorship group. Right now, if you want to come and, learn from what we got to do, go to hiphopun.com. And actually, I'll leave the link right in the description box if you want to be mentored, by me and my wonderful team at Hip Hop UN. Darren, Brother Sam, and Brother Kansu. So, fall hard. Another good thing is like a bike. We all remember we started with the training wheels. But then it has to come a day. Well, look, these shits got to come off. If you're watching, it's on the chat room right now for later on, too. And right now, people that are watching, you had to fall off. You had to push. Somebody gave you a push. And a few times you might have fell and cut yourself up. You may have been on a horse. I've seen people fall off horses and shit. I just recently fell off a fucking four-wheeler and the shit landed on me. I actually recorded it. The shit landed right on my leg. And I did like a front flip. But I got right back going and I got back up. So long as you're learning from your failures and your mistakes and you're taking out the lesson, like for my first failures in business, I took out a lot of different lessons that I had to apply, to now. And when you're always learning. So not to be too long-winded with this, just wanted to drop in and touch a little bit on this, right now, this topic. Definitely going to be rocking out live, way much more, on this channel and other channels. So just stay tuned, man. Whenever I get a thought, I'm just going to push the button and come on and speak with the peeps. So, yeah, man, in closing, don't always look at failure like it's a bad thing, It's failure's there to show, to teach you new lessons. And sometimes you can learn more from failing that you do with winning. If you keep winning, you can learn a lot. It builds character, it builds integrity. It builds all those things that you're going to need later on, in life. So I hope that I helped somebody out there today. The people that are going to see this now, when I share it on Hip Hop Uncensored, if I decide to do that, just be inspiration to people. The website is hiphopun.com for all your latest hip-hop news. That's hip-hop, the letter un.com. It's real easy to find, all your latest news. Once again, we have the Hip Hop Uncensored Mentorship, group right now that we got popping off right now. That's dynamic, amazing. I'm excited about that, man. Definitely still excited about that. So, and the Uncensored Truth podcast with me and Brother Sam, man. We had a beautiful, beautiful build today. Covered about 6 or 7 different topics, today. It was just beautiful. It was just beautiful, man. So, all right, man, I'm out of here, man. Peace, Brother Darren, and whoever else is watching on the other end, not speaking. Peace to you, too.